Hello beautiful, welcome to this YouTube channel, Aoife Mind Body, for all things mind body. My name is Aoife and I have had a very long journey with chronic pain and illness, IBS, fibromyalgia and other seemingly incurable diagnoses. So I've had a very long journey with those, and I've had a beautiful healing journey also. And that is what I am here to share with you. So if you find that you are really hard on yourself, like so hard on yourself, I actually had a therapist years ago who was shocked at how mean I was to myself. If you are a perfectionist and you really freak out when you make a mistake, or you feel like you're making a mistake. If you are a highly sensitive person, you are a highly sensitive child, maybe you were intuitive and really sensitive and the world was cruel for you or to you, this is the place for you. So mostly I'm going to be sharing tips and tools for every day to work with the nervous system and the core beliefs and thought patterns that are causing your nervous system to be in a state of fight or flight or chronic stress. So let me just give you a short intro to the mind-body connection and why this was such a massive breakthrough for me. So my favorite example of the mind-body connection is when I get embarrassed, I go really red in the face. And that is my thoughts and my beliefs, my core beliefs. So what you get embarrassed about, I mightn't get embarrassed about. What I get embarrassed about, you might not care about. So we all have different core beliefs. And so it's my belief about myself and the circumstances that are making me think certain things that are affecting my body and making my face go red and my hands shake and all kinds of things. So, a bit about my story. As a child, I was sick from a really early age. When I was 2, I remember like binge eating and being addicted to sugar and getting chronic yeast infections, thrush, and also cold sores all over my face. When I got chicken pox, I always got it worse than everybody. And I often complained of a sore tummy. And I also had reoccurring fevers with no pathological process. So my body was going into a high fever, and no matter how many tests and specialists I saw, there was seemingly no reason for these fevers. It's called pyrexia of unknown origin. So that's where it all began for me. It was like, you have pyrexia of unknown origin. So no one knows what the root of this is. You have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. We don't know what this is, it's just a syndrome. Then all the other things like the candida, the carpal tunnel, as I got older, acne and period pain. It was all PMS, it was all like a syndrome and seemingly incurable, and I never felt like I ever got a straight answer or explanation from anybody. And I went to all kinds of consultants and specialists and alternative therapists in England, Ireland, Australia, and India. I really, really, really was on a mission to get some answers. So I felt like I was crazy, and for many, many years I had all these really severely debilitating symptoms and in food intolerances, and nobody could tell me what was going on, and I also didn't know how to explain myself to people. So when I was 28 and I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I actually was really delighted and relieved, because it was the first time in my life that I had a word to what I felt, and I felt like that would give me it would give me a way to communicate to other people, and it would also, I felt, this is what I hoped, it would give me a way to communicate to other people what was going on for me. And I also hoped that I would find a community of people who had like a roadmap to recovery, and there would be answers, all kinds of explanations that I had not yet received in my life. And this was not to be the case. Unfortunately, I did find communities of friends who had similar diagnosis, but everyone was in the same boat as me, and there had not been any explanation. So I was really none the better. So I was so committed to healing, and I really, really went for the elimination diets and all kinds of things, all kinds of healing things. So, and I didn't get any better. So I didn't eat gluten or sugar for about 6 years, and I felt like it made sense to me, right? I had such severe IBS that I would focus on food. And I ended up with a lot of food triggers and intolerances. And so it made sense to me that I would do all these detoxes and remove this food from my diet and life, and that then I would get strong and resilient and healed. My leaky gut, my everything would be healed, and then I could live a normal life. Then I would be able to eat bread, and then I'd be able to reintroduce these triggers. However, that never, ever, ever happened. It didn't even come close to happening. What actually happened is I got worse. I got more triggers. So giving up gluten did nothing for me, except I did experience like some kind of relief in the moment, but I didn't get any stronger and I didn't heal. And all that I ended up doing was being gluten-free for a long time and not being able to eat gluten and excluding myself from life, from dinner, from eating burgers and sandwiches. That's all that happened. It never healed me, it never made me stronger, it never made me better. Giving up gluten and sugar and doing an elimination diet did nothing except make me worse in the long run. So this was so hard because I did not have any other explanation except to take a shot in the dark with these elimination diets. It was really, 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 really scary and frightening place to be. When I found out, when I heard about the mind-body connection, this changed everything for me forever. The other story that really helps me to register the mind-body connection and the pain science, part of it is phantom leg pain, and how people with no leg can experience real debilitating pain in the leg that's not there anymore. So the mind-body connection, like, I really do go red. It's not like, oh, that's in your head, you're making that up. It's like, well, look at my face, I'm red, I'm embarrassed. I really did have thrush and yeast infections. I really did have severe debilitating period pain. I really did have a digestion that was not working. I really did. These were all very, very real and highly painful and debilitating symptoms. And so what brought it all together for me was learning how the root of these symptoms was in my nervous system. So it was that my nervous system was in a chronic state of fight or flight, and that this was causing my digestion to not work. It was causing fevers in my body, very real fevers in my body. And my stomach, my body was acidic, so fungus was growing, was thriving, and my digestive enzymes and the good bacteria was not thriving. So I was in a state of chronic stress from about the age of 2. And this was affecting my body. It's commonly shared these days that stress is causing all these problems, but you're like, well, how can I break the habit of stress when these thoughts and beliefs are